Hey everyone, today I want to talk about how to make the most of your Epcot day, especially during festivals. There are four different unique Epcot festivals every year, and there's a lot to do, there's a lot to see, and you probably also want to ride rides and do some of the things that are happening in the park that are not just for the festival. So, how do you make it all work in the most perfect day at Epcot? Stay tuned to find out. So we know that Epcot has a lot to offer, whether you're traveling with kids, you're going on an adults only trip, and when it's festival season, there is even more to take advantage of. Whether it's Festival of the Arts, where you want to see the local artists who are signing and gazing at all of their artwork or special photo ops. Maybe it's Flower and Garden, where you want to take in all of the topiaries and sample some of the special eats that they have at the festival booths. Perhaps you're going for food and food and wine is the priority, and you're going to try to hit up as much festival food as you can and maybe catch the Eat to the Beat concert that night. And finally, Festival of the Holidays, storytellers, holiday exhibits, trees, all of the decor that happens. There's a lot to do at Epcot no matter when you're going. So we're going to talk about how to make the most of your Epcot day when it is festival season so that you don't feel overwhelmed, you're not losing time, and having some of these key strategies will help you have an awesome day at Epcot. So I was just at Epcot recently. I'm there usually for each of the festivals. It's really wonderful. And I was there for Festival of the Arts. So I want to talk a little bit about how I recommend you spend your time during these festivals. First, you do have the festival passport booklets. These are going to come out with every single festival that goes on throughout the year. You can collect these, you can circle the things that you want to see and do, but also you can find a lot of this information before you go online at Disney's website. So I recommend that you do take a look at different offerings that are going to be happening, whether it's the festival food booths, the live entertainment, or any of the other activities that are going on so that you can have an idea of what you may want to prioritize when you are there for a festival. All right, besides all of that, what do you want to do? You want to avoid zigzagging or crossing Epcot pretty much anytime you go there because this park is massive. And as you know, if you've been there, walking around World Showcase seems like it doesn't take that long, but before you know it, a few hours have passed because there's so much to do, so much to see, and the distance that you're traveling is actually quite large. Also, a lot of the most popular rides that you're going to want to ride are mostly found in the front half of the park, not World Showcase, but the rest of Epcot, which is closer to the main entrance. So here's my first tip. Number one, prioritize your rides early in the day. A lot of the festival activities do not start until 11 a.m. So if you're looking to see local artists, you're wanting to sample some of the food booths, those things are not going to be open at park opening. But that means that it's a great time to get in some of those rides and attractions at the front of Epcot. That way, once those booths open and once the festival's really kicking off around 11 a.m., you can then work your way around to those different festival locations and not feel like you're missing out. So what are you going to do when you walk in? That's when you're going to want to book those lightning lanes for early in the day if possible. Think about Guardians of the Galaxy. You're going to think about things like Spaceship Earth, Test Track. Maybe you're going to prioritize things like Finding Nemo and Friends or Turtle Talk with Crush. All of those are going to be found toward the front of the park. Soarin'. Keep in mind that if you can book those lightning lanes in advance and get them for early in the day, once you knock out those things you want to do at the front of the park, you don't have to go back up there. You can actually then spend the rest of your day in World Showcase taking your time and not feeling as rushed and not feeling you have to bounce back to get back to one of those rides later. This also means in your lightning lane strategy, I recommend that if you are choosing Remy's or Frozen as one of your tier 1 selections in advance on your multi-pass, book those for a little bit later. Don't book that first thing in the morning. Book that for maybe early afternoon. That way you can get there once you're already in World Showcase. You're not having to rush back there, especially because those two can be very popular. Maybe booking one of those for early afternoon is the way to go, and booking your other tier 2 lightning lanes, for example, or your individual lightning lane for Guardians in the morning can really kickstart your day in the right order. All right, so you're going to start in the park. You're going to start in the front of the park. You're going to get all of those attractions and rides done that you want to do. And then closer to 11 a.m., you're going to start to work your way back toward World Showcase. The big question is, do you start with Mexico? Do you start with Canada? That's going to depend on what you want to do first. If you booked Remy's, you may want to go toward Canada to get there a little faster. If you booked Frozen, you may want to head toward Mexico and get to Norway even quicker. So again, really thinking about the direction that you're trying to travel can save you a lot of time and a ton of steps throughout your day. All right, so we've acknowledged that we're going to start in the front, work our way back. Once you get to World Showcase, This is where this festival passport is really going to come in handy for you. Every spot that you walk through World Showcase will have different festival booths with unique snacks and treats. I highly recommend postponing any kind of sit-down meal during a festival that you want to try the foods in, because that sit-down meal is going to take a lot of time and there are so much great food offerings to sample while you're at Epcot. So a lot of people will maybe just do a dinner later in the day at one of the sit-down restaurants, which is a great option. And for lunch and for earlier parts of the day, just kind of snack your way around. This is a great way to sample a lot of the different foods and beverages that are offered. If you have kids, my tip for you is give them something to do. There is a lot that Disney offers for kiddos during these festivals, things like paint by numbers or the scavenger hunts. Definitely get the scavenger hunt booklet, or at least go and walk around and look for the scavenger hunt icons. This gives them something to focus on, something to get excited about in every country. So depending on the festival, find out what it is you're looking for in those scavenger hunts and whether or not you buy the specific scavenger hunt to get your prize at the end, or you just choose to go on your own and look for those things that can be really fun for kids. The other option for kiddos is to do the Epcot KidCot stops. They do now sell official passports for kids that you can find all around World Showcase and all around Epcot, where they can go to each KidCot station at all of the countries and learn a little something about that country. They may get to interact with the cast member where they'll stamp their passport. They may learn how to say hello in a different language, but either way, it's a really fun activity to get them busy and keep them occupied while you're walking through and enjoying the art, the topiaries, or maybe just the food. All right, so we talked about sampling the food. One of the key recommendations I have with the food booths is to use your snack credits on these Epcot food booth items. This is the best use of a snack credit on the Disney dining plan. And if you're going in 2026 and you're taking advantage of that free dining plan for kids, use the snack credits for your Epcot day. These snacks are going to be higher priced because they're part of the festival foods and booths, and also they're going to be a larger portion. For example, the beef Wellington that I just had when I was at Festival of the Arts, that was enough for me to be really satisfied for a while, and that's only a snack credit on the Disney dining plan. So use your snack credits and make the most of your Disney dining plan when you are at Epcot festivals. All right, I mentioned dinner. Why would you want to do a sit-down dinner at Epcot during a festival season when there are so many great foods and drinks to try walking around World Showcase? And I give one major reason why you may want to consider a sit-down meal, and that is the dining packages that you can get for the nighttime entertainment. So for example, Eat to the Beat, which is the fall concert series that goes with Food and Wine Festival, has some major headliners that will perform every night at Epcot. So part of your ticket includes seeing live concert experiences. So if there is a band, a performer, a performance that you really want to see when you're there, the best way to do it is to book a dining package for that nighttime entertainment. We did this for a few different things. Candlelight Processional, for example, is a very popular, very hard to get seat in the pavilion, in the American Adventure Pavilion area for the concerts, because it is so beautiful. They have celebrity storytellers, and they have an amazing choir and orchestra that perform at this particular event. If you select a dining package for Candlelight Processional, you get to choose a restaurant off of a list that they have, and you can select what time you want to eat your meal and which concert showing that you want to go to. What happens then is they give you a little sticker at the end of your meal that you wear, and you can go right to an expedited line for the nighttime entertainment that you chose. This is going to make it so that you're not waiting for potentially hours. I've seen people line up for hours depending on the performer that's going to be there, and you can get guaranteed seats inside to watch the nighttime performance. This is my favorite professional tip for anyone who really has a concert they want to go to. I was there recently for Food and Wine this past year, and Joey Fatone and friends were performing, and I knew that I didn't want to wait for an hour and a half in line to try to attempt to get a seat. We did the dining package. We got right in that line. We had third row seats for Joey Fatone and friends, which was such an awesome flex. So when do you want to do dining at Epcot during a festival? You definitely want to do it if you can do it with a dining package, if there is a performance that you want to see or a artist that you are really looking to see for that evening. So these are a few of my pro tips. I'd love to hear what some of your best advice is for people going to Epcot during festival season. Feel free to drop them in the comments. I also want to share The day of the week that you choose to go can make a big difference in your experience. If you are coming from out of town, know that the weekends are going to be very busy. A lot of locals flood into the parks when they're not working, and this can be really, really crowded. So if you are going to Epcot during any festival time, highly recommend avoiding the first day or two of the festival where it's going to be flooded with a lot of creators and locals, and also avoiding weekends. These are my best tips. Make sure you drop yours for me. And thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.